Alright guys, what's going on? This is Otis here, and today's gameplay is with the LSAT and on Donya Fortess in Conquest Domination, and the machine gun itself is pretty good. I know it's one of the guns you get in gun game, and it's actually a pretty solid machine gun, except when you first start out with it, just like with all machine guns. You're going to be pretty lucky to hopefully hit the broad side of the barn. I mean, you'll put your crosshairs on the guy, and you'll shoot everything but the guy, which is always kind of funny with the machine guns. But once you easily unlock things with it, it could definitely be a really good machine gun. And just like the other one too that they have in the game, I forget the Was it the L82 or whatever is the new machine gun? I can't remember at this time right now. But Donya Fortess is a nice, good map. I would say it's well designed, at least in my opinion. There's holes in the floor and stuff, and like the wall right here where bombs have come in and stuff. And so you can shoot people from up above, and you can like drop down on them like I do right here. Although I did get the kill, yeah, and then I got shot from someone else, and so that's pretty interesting. And it also has an open courtyard where there's maybe it's like a gazebo in the middle and some like wooden steps and some like water going in the middle, and so. I wouldn't really recommend going to the middle ever. I think there's one point on Conquest Domination. Oh no, this is Team Deathmatch. I'm sorry, this is Team Deathmatch. But if you're on Team Deathmatch, I would not recommend going in the middle of the area, just because you've got everyone on top looking down at you. You've got people on the bottom looking at you. It's pretty much the worst place you could absolutely be on this map. But you know, all the close quarters maps, I'm just really starting to enjoy all of them. I haven't played them all too long. I've got maybe like 5 hours on all the maps so far, and all the modes too, from gun game, close quarters, then conquest domination. One thing that I would definitely suggest is everyone pretty much being medics, maybe like one or two people being ammo squads in the people. And that's just because what it seems like too in this map, that everyone's just so close to each other that you're going to be able to revive a lot of people. I mean, there was one map where I got first just because I was reviving everyone and throwing med kits down. And so that's just something you could, also think about too. And for these new close quarters maps, there's two types of spawns you can pretty much do depending on what mode you're on. You can either spawn on your teammates, or you can do the random spawn. And if you're on Conquest Domination, you can spawn on the points, or you can spawn on your teammates and do a random spawn, just depending, maybe on what kind of tactics you're on. There's an EOD bot. These are going to be a lot of EOD bots probably running around in these maps, and even in the normal maps too, just because that's one of the premium assignments to unlock one of the guns. You have to get an EOD bot kill, which it's not too hard. If you're going to go for the EOD bot kill, don't really go for it in the close quarters maps. They're hard to it's pretty hard to drive that around when people run around to get a kill. And so what I would recommend with that is just go on the normal maps and just find a sniper, go behind them, drop it down, and kill them. It's what I did. It's the easiest thing you could absolutely do, and that'd be my recommendation there, at least. And so overall, all the weapons for the I'm liking all the new things.
Both the machine guns, but that's only because I haven't unlocked anything for them. Once I do unlock something, it will be pretty interesting. On this map, for when you are playing Conquest Domination, the room I'm in, there's going to be 1 point, and then there's also going to be 1 point off the side in the water a little bit, and there's also going to be a point on the opposite side of the map, which this map, it's pretty easy to learn. There's not really much too true like there is in Scrapyard or Scrap Metal, whatever that one is exactly called. And so like that guy there too, he ended up killing himself with the small. You're gonna have a lot of people running around trying to kill you with the smalls and RPGs. I've luckily already done that assignment, so I don't have to worry about running around with the small. There's gonna be a lot more grenade launchers because that's an assignment too. So you guys do have to watch out for that. It's not too bad, I would say. One thing I thought was going to be the shotguns are going to be way overpowered. The shotguns are not overpowered. Oh yeah, he did end up getting me that one time, and I think I get a revenge kill on him here or something too. But this is probably one of my favorite maps for Gunmaster, which is their new game. You have 18 weapons to cycle through, 2 kills on each weapon, and you finish with a knife. And this is my favorite map for that one. Overall, my favorite map is Zibba Tower so far. And this one probably has got to be my second favorite map, I would say, out of all of them. And then Operation 925, and then, of course, Scrap Metal finishing down. But it might finish. Zibba Tower is probably going to stay my favorite for a while. The setups for the machine guns, how I would recommend them doing, is probably maybe like an ACOG once you get that unlocked, or some other type of scope.
and maybe even the foregrip. I'm not really sure how the foregrip is because I haven't unlocked it or used it yet. I wouldn't really recommend a bipod, just because if you're setting your bipod up down somewhere, you're going to be getting shot in your back all day long, and so that's something you gotta watch out for too. I'm trying to think what else is going on here. And one of my other tips that I would definitely have to recommend, highly recommend for these maps, is use silencers, because pretty much everyone's still using like the normal guns right now that they're unlocking with assignments and stuff, and so they're just so freaking loud. You can hear people across the map. You show up on your map, and you know you need your silencer to stay silent, to stay hidden. You're gonna get a lot more kills when you start using your silencer for any weapon, regardless. You don't have a damage reduction anymore using the silencer, so there's almost no reason not to use a silencer now in Battlefield 3 at least. And another thing too is you have to pay attention to your map. I mean, it's just critical in close quarters, because I don't know how many kills I've seen where you'll go, like I was paying attention to the map right there, and before I jumped down, if you want to rewind it, you could see I could see that red dot was on that lower left side of me, and so when I dropped down I knew exactly where he was, just pretty much from the radar. And I don't remember if he was already, I don't think he was shooting already before, but you drop down, you look at your map, and you can see where they are. And that's just because most people aren't showing up on the, most people aren't using silencers, and so it's pretty much, it's their loss, and it's your game pretty much, because you're going to know where they are every single time. And so that's part of the courtyard there. And one thing I would have to say for Team Deathmatch is you're going to want to stay towards the outside of the map on Donya Fortess here at least. And that's just because if you stay more in the middle, you're going to get shot from your top and your below when you're going through the middle here. This is the very outside of the map. I wouldn't say stay that very far outside of the map, because if you stay that far outside, you're not going to see anyone the whole entire game. Oh, and here's the courtyard here with the water and stuff. I don't think I'd churn, yeah, but I would definitely recommend probably going carbines and the submachine guns for right now. The shotguns aren't really too overpowered. It seems like they lowered the damage for them a little bit, but we'll see once I start using a little bit more. I've only used the spaz so far on the close quarters maps, and it's a good weapon. You have to get used to how the aiming is and stuff. I know the very first time I used the spaz, I went like, I was like 12 and like 18. I was like, oh, the next time I used it, I went like 14 and 8. So it was at least a decent thing right there. And that's just me. I would have had him there if I would have thrown my ammo down right away, but I popped out my C4 just because I thought that was where the med kit was. I was so used to pressing right on the D-pad, and it just screwed me up. I ended up getting just murdered right there. But overall, squad deathmatch is actually really too. That's another mode that I would recommend, because right now in close quarters it's 8 on 8 when you're in the normal team deathmatch, and then 2 squads of 4 on each team. But when you go to deathmatch, it's obviously, you know, each team's got a squad of 4, and that one is really intense too. You've got to stay with your buddies, because if you're not staying with them, you will lose that one every single time. So that's a that's a good game mode that I would highly recommend trying out, at least. If you don't like it, then not. But overall, if you're on the fence about getting premium, I could maybe not even say premium, but if you're on the fence about getting close quarters, it's something that I would highly recommend. It's very fun maps. They're very well designed. They're just overall, like, they really put some effort into making them, and it's pretty interesting. They're really good maps, and so that's another thing that I would highly recommend there. I know the gameplay is about to be over, and I will have a scrap metal gameplay coming up in a few hours once I get done with that one. And hopefully you guys can enjoy this gameplay for the last few minutes. And thanks for watching.